Hi, I'm Shane with etrailer.com. Today I'm going to walk you through how to install truck bed cargo camera on your 2018 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. Adding a camera like this is going to make hooking up to your fifth wheels and goosenecks a lot easier. We're not going to have a second person watching as we back up, or we're not going to have to try looking through our back window. This is going to work with 8-inch monitor, factory monitors. Our camera is going to have 360 degrees of movement. It's also going to give us guidelines, so when we're backing up, we can make sure that we're coming in straight, or it's going to give us a distance of where we are. As you can see here, it has a nice clean factory look. It's going to mount directly behind our factory light, and our camera is going to hang a little bit down below it. As you can see right now, we're using our factory camera, but as we're backing up to our gooseneck or fifth wheel, we can switch it. It's going to override that camera to help us see a lot better when we're backing up to that kingpin. So you'll notice the flashing triangle. That's because our tailgate is down and our sensors on our bumper are covered. So when we switch it over, you'll still see that triangle. But what you'll notice is we got plenty of bed view, so we can see anything on our bed while we're backing up. One thing that's nice about this camera is we're not going to have to sacrifice one to get the other. We can still utilize our factory camera if we're pulling a trailer on our hitch. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let me walk you through how to get it installed. To start our installation, we're going to take a Torx bit and we're going to remove the 2 screws on our rear light. We'll pull our light out. We're going to disconnect this plug. We're just going to push down on this gray tab. Now, an easy way I found to do this, rather than trying to take these panels off, if you pull your weather stripping off a little bit, we need to get our wire back behind our headliner. Take an Airline tube or wire hanger if you have one, feed it up above your liner over to that hole where your light was. Now we can take our wire and attach it to the end of our Airline tube and pull it back over this way. One thing you do want to do is make sure you clean off any dirt or dust or anything underneath here, like this. And another thing I forgot to mention, you want to make sure you're going to the passenger side, not the driver's side, with your wires. Now in your kit, you're going to get 2 different foam strips. We're going to be using the thinner one because our screws are a little bit shorter and will not fit with the bigger one. We're going to take this on the back of our camera and we're going to stick it right around these edges. The thicker seal is going to be for the back of the light, so if yours is torn or damaged in any way, go ahead and pull that off and replace it with the new one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our wire, we're going to put it onto our Airline tube or wire hanger, whatever you're using. I'm going to put a little bit of electrical tape on there so we don't lose it in the roof as we're trying to pull it through. I'll kind of hold it. We're going to take our wire, we're going to feed it right through this little slot here. We're going to take the end, put it into our Airline tube. We're going to put a little bit of electrical tape in it so we don't lose it inside of our headliner as we're trying to pull it out. Plug our light back in. Get it lined up. And we can reinstall our screws. I'm going to make sure when putting these in, you don't over tighten them because you don't want to crack your light. Once you get your wire pulled out, you're going to have a plug that looks like this. You're going to take this in. It's going to plug in to the wire going back to the light. Before we do this, we're going to go ahead and take this wire and we're going to run it up to the dash. We got a couple different ways we can do it. We can go down and under, or we can go up top, which to me I think is going to be the easiest way because we can just take it and tuck it in right underneath our headliner and then put our weather stripping back in place. So you can see how I ran my wire, pulled my weather stripping off. You want to make sure you take that wire and tuck it up back behind that airbag. You want to make sure it's not going to interfere with the operation of the bag. Went all the way down, you're going to have a panel here on the side. It just pops off. If you grab right down here at the bottom, pull it off. Went ahead and pull my stripping down. Now what we're going to do is take the other end of our wire. You're going to have wire in there that looks like this. Take the black one, plug it in here. Yellow one, plug it in there. I'm going to take this and we need to feed it right behind our dash. Now with our glove box removed, the lower part of our glove box removed, it's very easy. You're going to have a Torx bit here, here, and you're going to have two on the bottom. Pull those off and this will pop just right out. We need to get to this panel right up here. It's got some plugs on it. We're going to go to this very end one. Pull it out. You get wiring that looks like this. And take our plug. Like that. We're going to take this end, plug it back into that same port. Just like that. On the one we just plugged in, you're going to have a yellow connector. Pull the cap off, and the one yellow connector you have left, plug those two together. We're going to have a black and a red wire. Once we determine a location to mount our switch, black is going to be ground, red is going to connect the red off the switch. Now I'm going to take my two ground wires. I have a ground wire coming from the module and the ground wire coming from the light or the switch. We're going to tie the two together. I'm going to add on a ring terminal. Ring terminal does not come in your kit. However, they can be found here at etrailer.com. And it's just a small one. I'm actually going to ground it right here to this factory screw. Take a 7mm socket, pull out the screw, put on a ring terminal, and reinstall the screw. There. We're going to have two red wires left. These need to go to an accessory power. So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to extend it with a butt connector, run a red wire over, and we're going to connect it right into our fuse panel, which is on our passenger side here. So we'll do the same thing here. Strip back our wire, tie them together. This time we're going to add a butt connector on. Butt connectors do not come in your kit. They can be found here at etrailer.com. Take a little extra wire. Take our red wire and extend it right back out the side here. This is going to be our fuse panel we're going to be tapping into. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tape up all of my wires that I have connected. That way they don't come apart. I think I'm going to put my switch right here in this corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this panel out just a little bit. I have my pull wire going back behind my dash. And I tape my switch to the end of it. Now that we've got our switch over, we're going to take off this small nut on the top. Make sure you don't lose that. This thing is only going to go on one way. There's a little groove in the back, so you can't get it confused. Pull this off too so I don't lose it. Make sure you take note of the sequence that they were in. Now we need to drill a hole so that that will fit through there. I'm going to use a 15/64 drill bit. Make sure that's going to fit. She did it perfect. Put on our washer. Push it up inside there. Put the nut back on. Now we connected our auxiliary wire to the purple wire with the yellow stripe with just a crimp connector. I'll go ahead and test it out, make sure it's working correctly. Switch into reverse. Factory camera is working. We'll switch our other camera on. can see it changes directly over to the bed of our truck. So it's going to override our factory camera. Now that we've tested everything out, we know it's working correctly, we're ready to hook up to our fifth wheel or gooseneck and hit the road. Again, I'm Shane with etrailer.com. I hope this video has helped you whether you're still deciding or installing the truck bed cargo camera on your 2018 Chevrolet Silverado 2500.